Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information regarding your Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get right into things here. As I'm gonna give you a nice free agency grade as we approach the end of March here. As there were a couple flashy moves, but not a whole lot of big signings for the Steelers. Besides, of course, you got to mention Darius Slay and DK Metcalf, but we'll wrap our way back around to them. Big holes right now in the quarterback room, offensive line, and the running back room. That's what's really holding us back. I give us a C plus. But quarterback one right now, Mason Rudolph. Don't know if any Steelers fan wants to run back the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer experiment, but right now that seems like how it's gonna be. Don't know if Metcalf gets over 1,000 yards again with Mason Rudolph throwing him the ball, but time will only tell there right now. With the running back room, you got Jalen Warren, and we signed Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell, once again, not a big flashy signing right there. More of a depth player, in my opinion. Right now, he's slated to get RB2 reps, which means, in my opinion, that he's going to get more of the passing downs, more of those third and long downs. You'll see him on the field. For now, that's how it's seeming like it's going to play out. I still like the idea of going out there and signing someone like Nick Chubb or Gus Edwards to be the power back of the team because I really don't think Jalen Warren is that guy right now. He has a fumble issue with his second team reps over the past couple years, so I don't think he really deserves the first team running back role, but right now that's where he is slated to play. Let's talk about those big signings though. DK Metcalf, every great adjective in the English dictionary describes the DK Metcalf trade. I love that. That's probably one of the biggest deals I've seen as in my lifetime as a Steelers fan. Huge move for Pittsburgh if we can find the proper quarterback to deliver him the ball. But on the other side of the ball, someone with a little more question marks, in my opinion, is Darius Slay. Darius Slay getting up there in age. I wouldn't even say he's on the back nine of his career right now. He's probably on the back three of his career as he's 34 years of age. Not a spring chicken anymore. The real worth in Darius Slay, in my opinion, is definitely him being a player coach, kind of teaching Beanie Bishop, Joey Porter Jr., and Corey Trice the ropes of the league, teaching them how to be that lockdown corner, how to be completely shut down. That is where I see the most value coming out of someone like Darius Slay. Once again, getting up there in age. I don't know if he's the premier lockdown corner anymore. The production has fallen off the past couple years, so I don't know if he's really that reliable to say that he really elevates this secondary from being the 24th ranked pass defense to maybe a top 10 pass defense. So only time will tell how our free agency acquisitions really pan out. But right now, I give it a C plus, mostly because of the holes at quarterback, O line, and running back. Three major positions on the offensive side of the ball. We got the skill positions at receiver, but everywhere else on offense, it feels like it's all question marks, in my opinion. Let's talk about one of these holes, though, as Mr. Rodgers back in the news once again. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Who would have thought? It's a Steelers podcast. He's rumored. It's 99% sure he's going to Pittsburgh, or is it? Because it was said today, or there's been reports that Jeremy Fowler put out on his show that he gave us loose assurance as Steelers fans that he's going to be our next quarterback. Not really what I want to hear as a fan of the team that we get loose assurance. Also, Diane Rossini on Stoop City podcast said that he always wanted to be in Minnesota. I don't understand why he wants to follow the Brett Favre career arc so bad. You go from Green Bay to the Jets, and now you're trying to jump to Minnesota. Minnesota's GM seemed to shut him down. Their plan seems to be McCarthy. They seem to have power over that decision, as the Steelers seem to lack all the power in this negotiation with Aaron Rodgers, and he is making it harder and harder every day as fans of the team to be happy about him joining us because he's teasing us real bad right now. He is really teasing us as fans. He isn't decisive at all, it seems like. I've also seen reports that says he could make us wait 4 months to, get a decision out of Aaron Rodgers, which is absolutely absurd. Why would you wait 4 months when you're joining a new team? You gotta get in there as fast as possible and try to learn that system and try to integrate yourself with the culture of that team, and it just doesn't seem like Aaron Rodgers is wanting to do that right now in his older age, and I was a diehard Rodgers supporter for many years, but as time goes on, he makes it harder and harder to support his antics. Max Crosby also said that he thinks he's gonna retire instead of Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. So, let's talk about possible trade solutions if we end up not getting Rodgers at all, because right now we only have loose assurance. Isn't great, but let's talk about some possible trade solutions to that loose assurance. Also, we're gonna have to give up a piece. Highsmith or Pickens are the 2 pieces I'd be willing to give up in trade. I know Pickens is crazy. Try getting rid of Highsmith first. I think we develop both positions well and draft these positions well. We always seem to have good outside linebackers and receivers. Those are 2 things we've never really struggled to see as Steelers fans. So I'd be willing to give up Highsmith or Pickens for one of these quarterbacks. First one being Kirk Cousins. Now I'd only give up Highsmith for Kirk Cousins because I think Kirk is on he's also had a rough season since the Achilles injury. Last year was very brutal for Kirk Cousins as he went on a 6-game stretch without a touchdown. I still think Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins slightly, but that's not really the main guy I would want, not the long-term solution once again, but he would be a one-year stopgap once again for us, and then we'd be back here next year talking about who the Steelers have at quarterback. But he does give you the veteran presence where he could maybe mentor a younger quarterback like Jalen Milroe. But another possible QB trade we could do is for Joe Milton of New England. Not a lot of on-field, experience so far, but the flashes he has shown when he's been on the field were, pretty solid last year from New England. He was impressive in a couple games that he, started for New England last year. Wouldn't mind seeing him, come to town, come join the black and yellow, but I prefer maybe trading Highsmith for a second round pick and getting Milroe instead of taking trading Highsmith for Joe Milton. But you might be able to even trade someone like Highsmith for Milton and that second round pick from New England. That's now a big what if, but you might be able to get that much value for someone like Highsmith because that is a valuable position of outside pass rusher. Also, could move up in the first round. That would be another trade I'd be very interested in, using one of these 2 and that 21st overall pick to maybe talk to the Bears at number 10, get up in the top 10 range, and be able to fill out that offensive line a little bit more with one of the upper echelon prospects coming out of this year's draft. That would be the most desirable trades, in my opinion, for me right now. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any desired trades, and we can talk about them on the next show. But let's wrap this up with some small signings that the Steelers made as of last week, as they brought in Lasidius Smith from New England off of waivers. Not a massive signing once again, but he provides depth to the offensive line. Actually, the first offensive line signing this offseason the Steelers made. So don't think we're gonna see him much next year, but, O linemen seem to get dinged up every season, so I see him playing maybe 1 to 4 games next year, filling in for an injured starting offensive lineman for us. Also, we re-signed Jeremiah Moon. This allows us to possibly move off of someone like Highsmith. He's an outside linebacker. Now, Jeremiah Moon didn't play much of last season, but once again, depth piece. He provides depth to the outside linebacker room. Maybe allows you to get rid of someone like Alex Highsmith. Didn't get a lot of snaps last year. He's gonna fill in probably for injury when someone goes down this year. We've had injuries to the outside linebacker position the past 3 seasons. So that's why you signed someone like Jeremiah Smith. But thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.